When you're in prison, everything stops. Your family is going on with their lives. You begin to feel left out. You begin to feel really isolated.
The things that go with being a black man, the responsibility that you have to your family and to your community are far greater than you realize. I was incarcerated for 32 and a half out of the last 34 years, and I missed being a father to my kid.
We understand that not every man had fatherhood and manhood modeled for them. We do the Second Chance Act Fatherhood program inside the prisons. It's about reuniting these dads and creating a parent identity. I'm not just a parent, I am a father. What happens is Department of Corrections, they'll see how many African American men that they have inside the prison. Okay, so how many of them are dads? Okay, so how many of those have children under the age of 18? They'll send a kite, they'll write back, and then Haven and I will drive up to Salem and we'll interview them to make sure that they're a good fit. The prison culture is pretty intense. The classrooms are, at the beginning, pretty quiet, because being vulnerable in prison can be a problem. But these guys understand that what happens in that classroom stays in that classroom. That's why it's so important for us to bring this inside, because guys want to be better. When we talk about values, when we talk about male-female relationships, punishment versus discipline versus abuse, fathers as providers, what that looks like, what manhood looks like, who raised them, and what kind of values were poured into them.
I was hoping that I would be able to learn tools to bridge a 28 and a half year communication gap, you know, and now that my sons were adults, I didn't know what that would look like. I didn't know if we would ever be able to have a relationship. It wasn't until I met Eric and Haven with this program that I actually started trusting people, because these were two people that I didn't know. They weren't from the prison setting, you know, they were from the free world. Sure enough, they would come every single week to see people take the time from their life and from their family to come and try to help you better understand you. I started respecting them and the process, you know. In opening up, that's where the help came. Prior to me getting released, he had called, I know you're getting ready to get released, you know, what's your housing look like? You know, trying to make sure that I was gonna be okay, that I had a support network. When I got out, he bought me dinner. He called me every day, what do you need? You all right, you need anything? He actually helped me get the job that I got. He gave me bus passes, so transportation, clothes, hygiene, all the little things, you know, a suit, something that I hadn't worn in 40 years, you know, a suit to go to church, you know. And he kept his word throughout every interaction that we had. For me, he really opened up, you know, things that I had locked in or locked out of my life or my thought process for over 40 years, you know. As a black man that grew up gang banging and selling drugs and, you know, being violent, you know, and being disruptive and destructive within my community, Eric was one of the people that told me that I can reverse all that, and for all of the damage that I did, I can do just as much repair within my community. When it's all said and done, I want my kids, my siblings, my relatives to know that I was a positive member of not just my family, but of my community, and that I did things that made a difference along generational lines because the people that came before me did things that made a difference. Despite the mistakes you make in your life, you always have an opportunity to give back to your community. And so I just want my kids and my grandkids to know that, you know, the most refreshing feeling you can get is the feeling of giving. That's it.
I make myself available at any time because life happens 24 hours a day. And I would rather them call me at 3 o'clock in the morning to talk through something rather than do something stupid and go back to jail.
At every step of the way, Eric is one of those people who I called at 1 o'clock in the morning because I was going through something. And didn't know exactly how to go about it, but my mind was going in the wrong direction. And so I was like, look, man, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm thinking, you know, thank you for being there, you know, because I was pretty much committed. And he was like, look, man, he said, just calm down, you know what I mean? He said, don't hang up the phone, you know, and he talked me through it. And yeah, probably saved me another trip to the penitentiary, man. Yeah, he's a good dude. And I don't say that about too many people.
I don't look at myself as being necessarily a hero. I have a deep-rooted desire to be of value to my community and other black men, because I am a black man and I go through the same struggles and I've overcome them. I feel it's my duty, it's my responsibility to grab a hold of somebody else and tell them, you can do this. You can do this. Let's just walk through this thing together, because we are community. We are community. We have to look out for each other. I thank God for SEI to give us a platform and be a part of something so much larger than ourselves that will carry on for years and years to come.